everybody, welcome back to my channel, Wild Like a Flower Gardening. My name is Sarah, and in this video I'm going to show you how to take a kitty litter container and create kind of a mini greenhouse to start some of your seeds that require some cold stratification throughout the winter. So let's get into it. So when deciding what kind of kitty litter container you want to be working with, I recommend going with as translucent of a container as you can get. I know that some of them are white and some are different colors, or you can be getting kitty litter in those cardboard boxes. But what you want is the almost clearish translucent plastic kitty litter containers. And it's pretty convenient because I have sprouts, so this is the kind of kitty litter I already have been using, so I've just been stockpiling them. But if you don't have a cat, just ask your friends that have cats. I guarantee you they would be happy to hand you off their kitty litter containers once they're empty. So just use your cat friends as a resource and, you know, save as many kitty litter containers as you can because they're a really awesome seed starting resource. I know that if you go over to Erin's channel, the subject of plants, she'll even use things as small as Gatorade bottles, which honestly like blows my mind. I'm going with the kitty litter because I just have access to them and I don't have as much space for lots of little containers, so I'm just going to do the kitty litter ones and call it good. But if you want to see how to start some seeds in littler containers, go check out Erin's channel. It's amazing. I'll probably maybe link it down below for you guys because we love Erin. So anyways, you want to have your translucent kitty litter container, take off the label, and then you want to go ahead and open it up. I cut it just about above the halfway point. Why? I really don't know. There's really no like method to any of my madness other than I'm going off of what I've seen my friends do, and so I'm just going to go ahead and cut it right above the halfway point. If anyone has suggestions on where more specifically to cut it, you know, feel free to comment down below. So you want to have really sharp scissors because this is pretty tough plastic, and you want to be careful when you do this because I don't want anybody stabbing themselves, and I also have learned the hard way that once you cut into plastic it's kind of sharp, so you just want to be careful. If you're doing this with kids, it should be supervised, and if they're young kids, the adults should probably cut the containers. That's just from my experience working with children, is that, you know, where there's a will, there is a way to have an accident. We don't want accidents. Seed starting is supposed to be fun, right guys? Alright, so you want to cut from one back corner all the way around to the other, so that way she'll open like this. So you want to make sure you put your drainage holes in your container now. If you forget, you can get holes into it after you've filled it with soil and seeds. It's just harder, and you run the risk of dumping everything out, which I have also done quite a few times. I remember last winter there were many occasions where I dropped, knocked over, or just the wind blew it over lots of my seed starting stuff, and it just went into the lawn, which was great. So you want to do your drainage holes now to preserve your dignity as best as you can throughout your season, because if you're anything like me, you'll make lots of accidents. So drainage holes now, if you can remember, because I forgot when I was doing some earlier, and I just want to say that out loud so maybe you don't feel as silly as I did. So you get your drainage holes in there, you add your soil, and then you're going to want to duct tape this shut. You duct tape it because it will help it create a greenhouse effect, lock in that moisture, and then once you get a little bit closer to the spring when the temperatures start to fluctuate, it'll help create a little bit more of a consistent temperature, and it'll give you that greenhouse effect until the time is right to open it up for more airflow. So I just stepped off camera to do my drainage holes. It's a lot easier for me to set this on the lawn and stab through it than it is to try to stab through on top of a hard surface, so that's just my personal preference. So now that I have my drainage holes, I'm going to add my potting soil. And something that you should know about me is that I am not an expert when it comes to my soils for seed starting. I have been low-key winging it the last two times, or last two seasons I've started seeds. I'm really just aiming to figure out what minimal level of effort I can put into my seed starting efforts and still be successful. I'm not gonna lie, I'll just be super straightforward with you guys on that one. I have been asking people who start seeds professionally, and some of the things that I've heard from folks is that they add more perlite to their seed, like their soil mix. They add more sand. Something that I really am excited to try this year is I've been recommended to do on top of my soil, adding a layer of sand, because the sand is going to be more abrasive and will hopefully kind of scarify those seeds a little bit better than just the soil would, which would give you hopefully more successful cold stratification. So that's what I'm aiming for, because last year I had some that never germinated and I was really disappointed. I did not have good success with my Columbine. I did not have good success with my wild Geranium. I'm going to try them again this year, but if I don't have any luck, I'm just going to move on maybe for the next season. But I did have really good success with my milkweeds, with my Showy Goldenrod, my tall Boneset, and my New England Aster. So I'm starting a bunch of those and then some this year, which I'm going to add in the description of this video a list of all the seeds I'm starting that require cold stratification. So Luna doesn't get on camera as much as my other girls do, so if you haven't met Luna yet, this is Luna. Stella's inside because I had tried to film a couple times earlier and she was so obsessive about playing fetch that I got no filming done. So Stella's on probation inside. So I got my topsoil in here. Last year I did about this, about an inch deep in my container. This year I'm trying to add a little bit more because I just felt like that wasn't enough soil, and eventually, like later in the spring, my baby plants were drying out too quick before it was time to pot them up. So I want to do about 1.5 to 2 inches of soil and then add that sand. So I'm going to jump off camera real quick. Now that I have about 1.5 to 2 inches worth of soil, I'm just going to even it out so it doesn't have any severe like depressions and stuff, so that way water will pool in some spots and leave others dry. Alright. I know there's someone out there. So this container, I already labeled it for my New England Asters. So I'm going to throw in my New England Aster seeds from Prairie Moon. Like I said, I had decent success with these last year, so we'll see how they do this year. That's why I wasn't working. So I was really upset a couple weeks ago. My dogs ripped into my little basket of seeds, and I lost the majority of my Columbine seeds and a bunch of others, because once they spilled on the floor, I couldn't tell what was what. So I'm a little bummed I've lost some seeds, but I have the majority of my collection, so I think we'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going to take my seeds and I just sprinkle them in here. Some of the seeds that are lighter colors, depending on what color the soil you're using is, you can see them, and you want to have a nice even layer of seeds, so that way they're not all too compacted and growing on top of one another. Awesome. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of sand on top here. A little Salt Bay action. Alright, and then now I'm going to go ahead and I'll duct tape this. I'll take the cap off so that way it allows water and snow to get in here for more of that freezing and thawing action. And then I'm going to set these all up somewhere in the backyard where I get ample amount of precipitation and I won't have to worry about them until the spring. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I know it's been a while since I've made a video. I've been a lot more active on Instagram, so if you've been missing me from YouTube, you can head over there. I post on Instagram a bit more regularly than I have been with my YouTube. But I'm really excited to get back into it and see you guys again. I'll put those links in the description for Erin's channel and then my plant list for what I started today. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I'm really thankful for you folks. You really make me feel supported and motivated to keep going with my native plant adventures, and I've been really excited about how I've been growing my business this year. And all in all, it's been a hard season, but it was a really good season for me. And I'm really excited to continue sharing my passion with you folks.